Chosen one, why are you still awake at 3 a.m. with tears nobody sees? Why does your body ache but your spirit refuses to surrender? Why does it feel like you've been forgotten by everyone except someone you can't explain? Listen to me. You didn't stumble on this message. You were summoned into this moment. Right now, this exact second, the seventh miracle has opened over your life. Not tomorrow, not next Sunday, today. And if you feel your chest tightening, if something ancient inside you just whispered, yes, that's not emotion, that's recognition. The angels of timing have been circling your address for 70 years, and they just knocked. If your spirit already knows this is real, type 7 inches the comments. Let heaven see you're awake. Let the enemy know you're done waiting. You felt it this morning, didn't you? That strange pause. Like time bent around you for just a breath. Like the air got heavier. Like your name was whispered from a dimension you can't see, but your soul remembers. That wasn't your imagination. The seventh miracle doesn't announce itself with trumpets. It announces itself with knowing. A pull in your spirit that makes you stop scrolling. A weight that makes you lean in. A frequency only the chosen ones can hear. But here's the mystery that's going to wreck you. Why seventh? Why not first or third or 10th? Why now, after all these years of praying, crying, begging God to show up? Why you, when younger people seem to get their miracles faster? Stay with me. Because before I reveal what the seventh miracle actually is, you need to hear what's been happening behind the scenes of your life while you thought God was silent. I'm talking to the grandmother who hasn't heard from her son in 6 months. I see you. I'm talking to the widower who still sets 2 plates at dinner out of habit. I see you. I'm talking to the 3-year-old woman choosing between blood pressure pills and groceries this week, between the electric bill and calling the grandkids, between dignity and desperation. I see you sitting in that chair at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling, whispering, God, did you forget I'm still here? You've buried friends, buried dreams, buried the version of yourself that used to believe miracles were real. Your children are too busy. Your body is betraying you. The church you served for 40 years doesn't call anymore. And the cruelest part? Your spirit still burns. Your faith still fights. You're 80 years old with the heart of a warrior, and the world treats you like you're invisible. But what if I told you that every night you survived was a test? What if the loneliness was a refining fire? What if God let you feel forgotten so you'd recognize his voice when he finally roared your name? Before I go deeper, I want to pause and thank every single soul who has supported this message through super thanks. Your generosity means more than you know. You're not just donating. You're helping spread light to others who feel alone in their calling. Whether you give or not, I'm deeply grateful for your presence here. Your support, your time, your attention, it all matters. And if this message resonates with your soul, go ahead and let your heart lead. Now hear me clearly. Chosen one. The reason life hit you harder than others wasn't because you were cursed. It's because your story wasn't meant to end in survival. It was meant to erupt in the seventh miracle. You've been walking through a divine delay, and the clock just struck 7. Comment right now, I'm ready for the seventh miracle. Because what I'm about to reveal next will explain why you've suffered so long, and why it's finally over. Why have you spent 70 years fighting battles nobody else seems to fight? Why does every victory in your life come with a scar? Why do you feel like you've been in a war since the day you were born and nobody handed you a weapon? Listen to me, chosen one. What you've been calling bad luck wasn't luck at all. What you've been calling coincidence was calculated. What you've been blaming on yourself was actually a targeted assault from an enemy who saw something in you that you're only now beginning to remember. You weren't attacked because you were weak. You were attacked because you were marked. There are 3 lifelong battles every senior in this nation has been fighting, and most don't even know they're at war. The first is the silent agony of feeling abandoned by God in your older age. You served him faithfully for decades. You tithed when you couldn't afford it. You showed up to church when your body screamed to stay home. You prayed for your children until your knees gave out. And now you sit in a house that's too quiet, wondering if God moved on to younger believers with fresher faith. The second battle is watching the people you loved most drift away like smoke. Your children don't call unless they need something. Your grandchildren are strangers with screens. Your spouse is gone, and the friends who promised till the end stopped visiting years ago. You're surrounded by people, yet you've never felt more alone. You wonder if you did something wrong, if you weren't enough. If this is what loyalty gets you, a one-way ticket to invisibility. The third battle is the cruelest. It's carrying trauma from decades past that never got a name, never got healed, never got acknowledged. Maybe it was the abuse nobody believed. Maybe it was the betrayal that shattered your trust in 1973 and you're still picking up glass. Maybe it was the miscarriage, the bankruptcy, the divorce, the diagnosis that changed everything, and you stuffed it down because good Christians don't complain. So you smiled through the pain. You served through the sorrow. And now, at 75, that unhealed wound is screaming louder than ever. You thought you were the only one. But chosen one, these three battles aren't random, they're strategic. Hell has been studying your bloodline for generations, and when you were born, a red flag went up in the kingdom of darkness. They saw what heaven placed inside you, and they've been trying to neutralize it ever since. Let me take you to the story of Joseph. 17 years old, favored by his father, carrying dreams that seemed too big for a shepherd boy. But before Joseph ever touched a throne, he was thrown into a pit by his own brothers, betrayed by blood, left to die in darkness, sold into slavery for 20 pieces of silver, the price of a pair of sandals. But the pit wasn't the end. Joseph was pulled out only to be thrown into Potiphar's house, where he did everything right and still got accused of a crime he didn't commit. False accusations, prison, forgotten by the very people he helped. For 13 years, Joseph sat in dungeons wondering if God remembered his name. But here's what Joseph didn't know while he was rotting in that cell. Every year in the pit was preparing him for the palace. Every betrayal was building his character. Every false accusation was testing his integrity. Every moment of feeling forgotten was teaching him how to depend on God alone. Because when Pharaoh finally called for him, Joseph didn't just get a job, he got authority over the entire Egyptian economy. He went from prisoner to prime minister in a single afternoon. The pit wasn't punishment, it was preparation. And your pit? It's been doing the same thing. Isaiah 46:4 says, "Even to your old age and grey hairs I am he who will sustain you. I have made you, and I will carry you. I will sustain you, and I will rescue you." Did you catch that? God specifically mentioned old age. He specifically mentioned grey hairs, because he knew that the enemy's cruelest lie would be convincing you that your season is over when it's actually just beginning. You think you're too old to be used by God. Moses was 80 when he split the Red Sea. Abraham was 100 when he held the promise. Caleb was 85 when he said, "Give me this mountain." Your age isn't your limitation, it's your qualification. The older you get, the more dangerous you become spiritually. Why? Because you've survived what killed others. You've endured what broke weaker souls. You've stayed faithful when quitting would have been easier. Hell didn't attack you for 70 years because you were vulnerable. Hell attacked you because you were valuable. Every financial blow, every health crisis, every relationship that imploded it, was all designed to stop what's coming. The enemy knew that if you ever made it to this moment, if you ever connected the dots, if you ever realized that your suffering wasn't random but prophetic, he'd lose his grip on you forever. But here's the question burning in your spirit right now. Why would God wait until this season of your life for the greatest breakthrough? Why not give it to you at 30 when you had energy? Why not release it at 50 when you had time? Why now when your body aches and your patience is thin and the world thinks you're winding down? Stay with me, because the answer to that question will shatter every lie you've believed about your worth. You weren't delayed because God forgot you. You were delayed because the breakthrough coming requires the version of you that only 70 years of fire could forge. The miracle heaven is releasing isn't for the untested, it's for the proven. It's for the ones who've walked through hell and still whisper, "I trust you, Lord." And now, right now, at this exact moment in your life, everything is about to converge. Every tear, every prayer, every night you didn't quit, it's all been building toward this. The seventh miracle isn't just a blessing, it's a vindication. It's God's way of saying, "You thought I wasn't watching, but I was recording. You thought I wasn't moving, but I was orchestrating. And now, I'm about to make up for every stolen year." Hear me clearly, chosen one. You weren't attacked because you were weak. You were attacked because you carry the seventh miracle, the one miracle hell cannot stop, the one breakthrough demons cannot block, the one divine reversal that's been locked in heaven's vault with your name engraved on it in gold. The war over your life wasn't about destroying you, it was about delaying what I'm about to reveal next. Because when you understand what the seventh miracle actually is, when you realize why it had to wait until now, when you see how every single battle you fought was preparing you to receive it, everything will finally make sense. And that understanding, it starts in the next breath. Chosen one, let me tell you something that's going to shatter every lie you've believed about your timeline. There are two kinds of time operating in your life right now. The Greeks understood this thousands of years ago, and the Bible confirms it in every miracle story ever told. There's Chronos, the ticking clock on your wall, the calendar pages falling, the years you count when you look in the mirror and wonder where it all went. Chronos is man's time, sequential, linear, merciless. But then there's Kairos. Kairos is God's time. It's the appointed moment, the fullness of time, the collision between heaven's plan and earth's readiness. Galatians 4:4 says, "But when the fullness of time had come, God sent forth his Son. Not a minute early, not a second late. Fullness. Your life hasn't been delayed, beloved. It has been synchronized. Every year you thought was wasted, that was Chronos, the clock you were watching. But behind the scenes, Kairos was building, orchestrating, positioning. God wasn't counting your birthdays. He was counting your tears, your prayers, your moments of surrender. And when the weight reached critical mass, when your spirit was refined enough to carry what he's been holding, that's when Kairos erupts. This is why Moses was 80 before the burning bush. This is why Abraham was 99 before Isaac. This is why Jesus waited 30 years in obscurity before 3 years of world-shaking ministry. Divine timing doesn't rush, it ripens. You've been ripening, chosen one. And the seventh miracle is your harvest moment. But I know what you've been thinking. I hear the whisper you won't say out loud. You thought you were too old. You looked at your hands, the liver spots, the trembling fingers, the wedding ring that no longer has a partner, and you thought, my time has passed. You watched your grandchildren glued to screens, speaking a language you don't understand, living in a world that moved on without asking your permission. And you thought, God must have younger people to use. Sharper minds, stronger bodies. You thought time ran out. Every doctor's appointment reminded you. Every obituary in the paper with names you recognized. Every time you forgot where you put your keys or couldn't remember that word on the tip of your tongue. The world convinced you that 70, 80, 90 years old means finished, retired, irrelevant, invisible. And the cruelest lie of all, you thought your prayers were ignored. How many decades have you prayed the same prayer? How many nights did you cry out for healing, for reconciliation, for breakthrough, for just one sign that God still remembered your name? And when the silence stretched into years, you started believing that maybe you'd done something wrong. Maybe you weren't faithful enough. Maybe God had moved on to someone more deserving. Stop. Let me flip that narrative right now with a truth that's going to resurrect something in your chest. God saves his finest assignments for his most seasoned warriors. You think it's coincidence that Moses led a nation at 80. That's not a Bible story about an old man that's a prophetic blueprint for you. Moses spent 40 years as a prince learning leadership, then 40 years as a shepherd learning humility. 80 years of preparation for 40 years of legacy. You think it's random that Caleb, at 85 years old, looked at a mountain filled with giants and said, "Give me this hill." Joshua 14:11 records his words, "I am as strong this day as on the day Moses sent me." 85. The world would have given him a rocking chair. God gave him a conquest. Anna the prophetess was 84 when she recognized the Messiah in the temple. Luke 2:37 says she never left, fasting and praying night and day. 84 years of preparation for one divine encounter that would echo through eternity. She didn't miss her moment. She was the moment. Your age isn't your disqualification. It's your diploma. Every wrinkle is a lesson learned. Every scar is a battle survived. Every year is another layer of wisdom that cannot be taught in seminary or downloaded from the internet. You carry something the young cannot carry, tested faith. And tested faith is the only faith strong enough to hold the seventh miracle. But here's the question that's been burning in heaven's courtroom for decades. What if the seventh miracle requires decades of pain, wisdom, loss, and endurance? What if it couldn't come when you were 30 because you weren't broken enough yet to steward it with humility? What if it couldn't come at 50 because you still had too much pride, too much self-reliance, too much belief that you could do it on your own? What if the seventh miracle is so powerful, so world-altering, so generationally transformative, that it could only be entrusted to someone who's been through hell and still whispers, "I trust you, Lord"? Think about it. Would you trust a nuclear launch code to a teenager? Would you hand the keys to a kingdom to someone who's never known betrayal, loss, or the dark night of the soul? The seventh miracle isn't a beginner's blessing, it's a masterclass reward. And that's why it could only come now. Not 20 years ago when you were stronger. Not 10 years ago when you had more energy. Now when your knees are weak but your faith is titanium. Now when your body is tired but your spirit is on fire. Now when the world counts you out but heaven counts you in. Job 12:12 declares, "Wisdom is with the aged, and understanding in length of days." You don't just have years, you have understanding. You've earned spiritual currency that the young don't even know exists. Chosen one, your waiting season wasn't wasted. It was building the strength to hold what's coming next. Every unanswered prayer was adding weight to your spiritual muscles. Every delay was increasing your capacity. Every closed door was redirecting you from detours into destiny lanes. You thought you were stuck in the wilderness, but God was in that wilderness with you, doing what he did with Israel for 40 years, preparing you for the promised land. Deuteronomy 8:2 explains it. Remember how the Lord your God led you all the way in the wilderness these 40 years, to humble and test you in order to know what was in your heart. The wilderness wasn't punishment, it was preparation. And now, right now, heaven is flipping the switch. The waiting ends, the delay dissolves. The door that's been locked for 70 years is swinging open, and on the other side is everything you've prayed for and things you didn't even know to ask for. But you have to recognize the moment. You have to speak into the shift. You have to activate your agreement with divine timing. If you're ready for the timing switch, if you're done with Chronos and ready for Kairos, if you're ready to trade the clock for the fullness of time, then write it in the comments right now. Now, Lord, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, not when circumstances look better. Now, because God is waiting for your voice to sync with his timing. The seventh miracle isn't coming to you, it's waiting for you. And the moment you declare, "Now, Lord," heaven releases what's been held in escrow for your entire life. The switch has been thrown, the frequency is live, the portal is open. But the question that will determine everything is this: will you step into Kairos time, or will you keep living in the prison of Chronos? Because what I'm about to show you next will prove that your breakthrough isn't coming, someday it's here. Listen to me carefully, chosen one. You've been through miracles before, haven't you? But they felt incomplete, partial, like getting a piece of the promise but not the whole thing. Miracle 1 touched your faith and you believed again. Miracle 2 touched your house and the bills got paid barely. Miracle 3 touched your identity and you remembered who you were. Miracle 4 brought a friend when you needed one. Miracle 5 opened a door but it closed too soon. Miracle 6 gave you strength to survive another year. But the seventh touches everything. And here's why that matters more at 75 than it did at 25. Because at your age, you don't have time for partial miracles anymore. You don't have another decade to wait for the next breakthrough. You need the miracle that doesn't just fix one thing. You need the miracle that restores all things. The 7th miracle is the miracle of reversal, restoration, and release. Let me break that open for you, because this is where your life changes forever. Reversal means what was stolen comes back, not replaced, not substituted, returned. The relationship that ended, it reverses. The health that declined, it reverses. The respect you lost, it reverses. The enemy thought he buried your blessing, but God is about to reverse the grave itself. Restoration means the years the locusts ate are given back. Joel 2:25 says it plain as day. I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten. You lost decades raising ungrateful children. You lost your prime years in a marriage that drained you. You lost your savings to a system that betrayed you. But God doesn't just comfort you about those losses. He restores the time, not symbolically, literally. You're about to live with the vitality, the clarity, the joy of someone 20 years younger. The 7th miracle collapses time and gives you back what was taken. Release means generational blessings that were locked are now opening. Your grandchildren will benefit from what God does this week. The curse that followed your family name, it stops at you. The addiction, the poverty, the abandonment, it dies at your feet. You're not just getting blessed, you're becoming the portal through which heaven floods your entire bloodline. Your obedience right now is unlocking doors for people who aren't even born yet. But let me tell you why this miracle is called the 7th, and why it had to wait until now. In Scripture, 7 is the number of completion. God created the world in 6 days and rested on the 7th. Joshua marched around Jericho for 6 days in silence, but on the 7th day, the walls fell. You've been marching around your Jericho for years, and every lap felt pointless. Every year felt like nothing changed. But God was counting. And today, this very moment, is your 7th lap. The walls are coming down. Psalm 126 says, When the Lord restored the fortunes of Zion, we were like those who dreamed. Do you hear that? When God restores, it feels so unreal you think you're dreaming. It's so sudden, so complete, so beyond what you prayed for that you can't even process it. That's the 7th miracle. It doesn't trickle in, it floods. Now I need you to do something that might feel impossible. Close your eyes for just a moment. I want you to see it, not imagine it. See it. See your daughter calling you, not out of guilt, out of love. See her voice cracking as she says, Mom, I'm sorry, I need you. See your doctor staring at the test results, confused, saying, I don't understand, this shouldn't be possible. See your bank account with numbers you haven't seen in 30 years, not from a lottery. From divine systems aligning jobs, checks, blessings from sources you didn't even ask. See yourself waking up at 6 a.m. without pain, without that heaviness in your chest, without wondering if today's the day you give up. See yourself waking up with purpose burning in your bones again. See your grandchild running to you, asking you to pray over them, because they know that when Grandma prays, heaven moves. Do you see it? Can you feel it trying to break through the wall of doubt? That's not fantasy. That's prophecy trying to become flesh. Genesis 50:20. Joseph said it to the brothers who betrayed him. You meant evil against me, But God meant it for good. Every betrayal you endured, every loss you suffered, every year you spent in the wilderness, God has been turning it into the soil for the seventh miracle. Your pain wasn't wasted, it was preparation. But here's the part that's going to wreck you. The seventh miracle was always yours. It's had your name on it since before you were born. But it couldn't come early. Because if it came when you were 40, you would have mishandled it. If it came at 50, you wouldn't have appreciated it. But now you've been refined. Now you've been humbled. Now you're finally ready to receive it without pride destroying it. God delayed the miracle to protect it. And today, the protection period is over. Today, the release begins. If you receive this, if every cell in your body is screaming, yes, then don't just sit there. Type it into the comments right now. Restore me, Lord. Say it out loud. Let your voice carry the frequency of faith into your atmosphere, because the seventh miracle doesn't come to the silent, it comes to those who declare it. But you need to understand something urgent. This window won't stay open forever. The seventh miracle operates on divine timing, and divine timing doesn't wait for convenience. So what happens next? What do you do after the revelation? Because knowing the miracle exists isn't enough. You have to position yourself to receive it. Listen to me, chosen one. I need to talk to you about the weight you've been carrying in silence. The weight that keeps you up at night when everyone else is asleep. The weight that has nothing to do with your own life anymore and everything to do with the children you raised and the grandchildren you're watching slip away. You did everything right, didn't you? You took them to church every Sunday. You prayed over their beds. You taught them the word when the world was teaching them something else. But now your son hasn't called in 3 months. Your daughter argues every time you mention Jesus. Your grandchildren don't even know your favorite hymn because they've got earbuds in, lost in a digital world you don't recognize. And the cruelest part? You're watching them make the same mistakes you warned them about. You're seeing them chase emptiness while rejecting the very faith that kept you alive through your darkest valleys. You lie in bed wondering, God, did I fail them? Will my family line end in spiritual poverty? Will everything I believed die with me? That fear, that soul-crushing terror, that your legacy will crumble the moment you're gone, it's eating you alive, isn't it? But what if I told you that the seventh miracle wasn't just for you? What if I told you that the same heaven that's been watching you weep over your children has been recording every single prayer you whispered over their lives? Psalm 37:25 says, I have been young, and now am old. Yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. Did you catch that? His seed, not just you. Your children, your grandchildren, your bloodline. God doesn't just save individuals, He redeems generations. You think those prayers disappeared into the void? No, they've been maturing in heaven's vault. Every tear you cried over your prodigal son, stored. Every midnight intercession for your rebellious daughter, recorded. Every time you whispered their names in the grocery store parking lot, gripping the steering wheel with trembling hands, God was taking notes. Exodus 20:6 declares that God shows mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thousands, not just you, thousands of generations flowing from your obedience. Your faithfulness didn't stop at your front door, it echoed into eternity. And now, the seventh miracle is about to crack open those spiritual vaults and pour out delayed blessings on the very people you thought were lost forever. I need you to see something. Close your eyes for just a moment and picture this with me. It's a Tuesday afternoon. Your phone rings. It's your son, the one who stopped calling. But this time, his voice sounds different, softer, broken. Mom, he says, I don't know why, but I woke up this morning and I couldn't stop thinking about you, about the prayers you used to say over me. I think I need to come home. Picture your granddaughter, the one who rolls her eyes every time you mention church, suddenly texting you out of nowhere. Grandma, I had the weirdest dream about you last night. You were glowing. What does that mean? Picture your daughter walking into your kitchen, tears streaming down her face, saying words you thought you'd never hear. "You were right about everything. I'm so sorry I didn't listen." This isn't fantasy, beloved. This is prophecy. Because when the seventh miracle touches a bloodline, it doesn't whisper, it roars through generations. You want proof? Look at the Philippian jailer in Acts 16:31. Paul told him, "Believe on the Lord Jesus Christ, and thou shalt be saved, and thy house." Not just you, your house, your family, your lineage. One person's faith can activate salvation for an entire household. Look at Rahab, a prostitute whose one act of faith in Joshua 2 didn't just save her life. It saved her entire family and placed her in the bloodline of Jesus Christ himself. One woman, one decision, generations redeemed. That's you right now. You are the Rahab of your family. You are the hinge upon which heaven is about to swing open the door of redemption for your children and their children. But here's what the enemy doesn't want you to know. Your tears became currency in heaven. Every night you wept over your wayward child. You were making deposits into a divine account that's about to pay compound interest. The seventh miracle isn't just falling on you, it's cascading down your family tree like holy rain. Right now, angels are being dispatched to the exact locations where your children are. Divine appointments are being arranged. Supernatural encounters are being orchestrated. People are being positioned to speak truth into their lives at the exact moment their hearts crack open. You think it's random that your son suddenly feels restless. You think it's coincidence that your daughter keeps hearing the same song that reminds her of childhood. You think it's luck that your grandson just met someone who loves Jesus. No, that's the seventh miracle in motion. That's your prayers from 1987 finally manifesting in 2025. That's heaven saying, "The faithful one has waited long enough. It's time to honor the seed she planted. Now listen to me with every fiber of your being. Your bloodline will not end in defeat. The curse stops here. The rebellion ends now. The generational poverty, addiction, divorce, and spiritual blindness that plagued your family for decades is being shattered by the weight of one miraculous moment. The seventh miracle rewrites your family story. It takes the broken narrative and authors a new ending. It transforms the prodigal into the preacher. It turns the rebel into the revivalist. It makes your grandchildren the very thing the enemy tried to prevent, carriers of the glory you've been praying for. Write it down right now, in the comments. Write the name of one family member you're believing God for. Write it as an act of faith, as a declaration, as a weapon against every demonic force that's been holding them captive. Because when you write their name, heaven takes notice, and the seventh miracle begins to move toward them with unstoppable force. But there's something else you need to understand about this miracle, something that will determine whether it manifests in fullness or fades like a dream. And what I'm about to tell you next will challenge everything you thought you knew about your role in this divine unfolding. Listen to me very carefully. Chosen one, what I'm about to tell you is going to sound impossible until it starts happening to you. Within the next 72 hours, 3 sacred days, your physical reality is about to receive supernatural confirmation that the seventh miracle has been activated over your life. Not someday, not eventually. Within 72 hours from this moment. You see, when heaven releases a decree, it doesn't whisper, it validates. And validation always comes through the language of signs, divine signals that pierce through the veil of coincidence and scream, "I am here." The number 72 isn't random. In Scripture, Jesus sent out 72 disciples in Luke chapter 10 to prepare the way before him. 72 hours is God's preparation period. It's the window where heaven arranges evidence before the full manifestation arrives. It's the divine countdown where your faith gets to watch God move in real time. But here's what breaks my heart. Most people miss it. They're so focused on the big miracle, the healing, the money, the reconciliation that they ignore the micro miracles, the whispers before the roar, the breadcrumbs heaven drops to prove he's already working. You've been praying for breakthrough, but have you been watching for confirmation? Because God never moves without announcement. He always sends signs first. Always. The star before the Savior. The dove before the declaration. The earthquake before the resurrection. And right now, He's sending yours. So what exactly should you be looking for? What are the unmistakable shifts that prove the seventh miracle is no longer coming, it's already here, building momentum in the invisible realm, preparing to crash into your timeline? Let me give you 7 signs. 7 supernatural confirmations that will appear within 72 hours. And when you see them, don't you dare call them coincidence. Call them what they are, God's handwriting on your reality. Sign number 1. A sudden, unexplainable peace will flood your body. You've been anxious for months, maybe years. Your chest has been tight. Your mind has been racing. But suddenly, maybe while you're doing dishes, maybe while you're sitting in your chair, a wave of calm will wash over you that makes no logical sense. That's not relief. That's the Holy Spirit settling into your atmosphere, preparing the ground for manifestation. Isaiah 26:3 says, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast." That peace isn't the absence of trouble, it's the presence of God moving into position. Sign number 2. A forgotten memory will resurface, and this time it brings healing instead of pain. You'll be sitting there, and suddenly you'll remember something from 30 years ago. A conversation, a moment, a person, but this time the sting is gone. The wound doesn't bleed anymore. That's not nostalgia. That's divine surgery. God is healing your past in real time, so your future isn't contaminated by old grief. Sign number 3. Someone you haven't heard from in years will reach out. A phone call, a text, an unexpected knock on your door, and you'll think, what timing? No, it's not timing, it's orchestration. Heaven is repositioning relationships, reconnecting you with people who carry keys to your next season. Proverbs 18:24 says there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. God is restoring divine connections that were severed by time, distance, or misunderstanding. Sign number 4. You'll have a dream, so vivid, so detailed, so emotionally charged, that you'll wake up knowing it wasn't just a dream, it was a message. Joel 2:28 promises, "Your old men will dream dreams." That's not poetry, that's prophecy. God speaks loudest when your conscious mind is quiet. If you wake up in the next 72 hours with a dream that feels too real, write it down. Heaven just handed you intel. Sign number 5. You'll feel a physical warmth in your chest or your hands, not a medical issue, not anxiety. A warmth that feels like liquid light. That's the anointing activating. That's the frequency of heaven downloading into your physical body. When Moses encountered the burning bush, the fire didn't consume, it confirmed. You're about to feel that same holy heat. Sign number 6. A small, unexpected financial breakthrough will appear. Maybe it's $20 you forgot about. Maybe it's a check you weren't expecting. Maybe someone pays you back a debt from years ago. Don't dismiss it as small. That's seed money. That's God proving He controls your supply line. Philippians 4:19 says, "My God will meet all your needs according to the riches of His glory." The small breakthrough is evidence the floodgates are about to open. Sign number 7. A specific scripture will appear repeatedly on your phone, on the radio, in a conversation, on a billboard. And every time you see it, something in your spirit will leap. That's not coincidence. That's God circling His promise in red ink, making sure you can't miss it. His word is living and active, and when He repeats Himself, it means the manifestation is imminent. Now, those 7 signs are powerful, but there is one sign more powerful than all the others combined. One unmistakable confirmation that heaven has fully activated the 7th miracle over your life, and I'll reveal it in just a moment. But first, If you've ever felt God speak through signs, if you've seen his fingerprints on your reality and you're ready to see them again, type right now, "Speak, Lord." Let heaven know you're watching. Let the enemy know you're awake. Because what happens next will prove that the 72-hour window isn't theory, it's prophecy. Chosen one. What happens after a miracle is often more powerful than the miracle itself. You see, most people think the miracle is the destination. They think once God moves, the story ends. But that's where they're wrong. The miracle isn't the period at the end of the sentence. It's the comma before everything accelerates. Right now, if you've been listening with your spirit and not just your ears, something inside you has already shifted. You felt it, didn't you? That strange sensation in your chest, that warmth spreading through your bones, that inexplicable lightness even though nothing in your circumstances has changed yet. That's not your imagination. That's the aftershock. When the seventh miracle opens over your life, it doesn't just touch your present, it rewrites your past and redesigns your future. It moves backward through your timeline, redeeming every tear you cried in secret. It moves forward, aligning opportunities you haven't even prayed for yet. And in the center of it all stands you, suddenly lighter, suddenly clearer, suddenly aware that something eternal just collided with your temporary world. Let me tell you what's happening to you right now, even as these words wash over your spirit. First, you're experiencing emotional clarity you haven't felt in decades. That fog that's been sitting on your mind, that heaviness that made every decision feel impossible. It's lifting, not slowly, rapidly, like someone opened a window in a room that's been sealed for 40 years. You're about to make decisions with precision you thought you lost with age. The confusion is breaking. The mental static is clearing. God is restoring the sharpness of your discernment, because what's coming requires clarity, not chaos. Second, there's a peace settling over you that has no logical explanation. Your bank account hasn't changed, your health report is still the same, your children haven't called yet. But somehow, impossibly, you feel okay. You feel held. Romans 4:18 says, Abraham, against all hope, believed in hope. That's you right now. You're believing against the evidence because something deeper than evidence is speaking. Third, the atmosphere in your home is shifting. You can feel it. The air feels lighter. That apartment that used to suffocate you with loneliness now feels like a sanctuary. The walls that witnessed your tears are now witnessing your awakening. Even your pets sense it. Even the plants in your window seem greener. This isn't poetic language. This is spiritual physics. When heaven touches earth, everything in proximity begins to vibrate differently. But here's where it gets wild. Old fears that used to control you are losing their power. That anxiety about dying alone, it's fading. That terror about running out of money, it's weakening. That shame about past mistakes, it's dissolving like salt in warm water. You're not trying to overcome these fears. They're just evaporating in the presence of the seventh miracle. Isaiah 41:10 declares, Fear not, for I am with you. Not try not to be afraid. Fear not. It's a command backed by divine presence. And when God shows up, fear has to leave. They can't occupy the same space. You will feel lighter, chosen one. Even if your body is aging, your spirit is accelerating. Even if your knees hurt when you stand, your soul is running. Even if the mirror shows wrinkles, your essence is being renewed. 2 Corinthians 4:16 promises, Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. You thought renewal was for the young, but God specializes in renewing the weary. You're experiencing cellular-level transformation that medical science can't measure, but your spirit confirms. It's like God placed a new script inside your chest, and the old script has no strength left. For 70, 80, 90 years, you've been reading from a script written by pain, rejection, and disappointment. Every morning you woke up expecting the same tired scenes, the same struggles, the same limitations. But today, The seventh miracle inserted new pages, pages written in heaven's handwriting, pages where you're not the victim, but the victor, not the forgotten, but the favored, not the ending, but the climax. And here's what's going to blow your mind. The evidence is already beginning to appear in the physical realm. People are going to start treating you differently, not because you changed your clothes or your address, because your frequency changed. You're vibrating at a different spiritual pitch now, and humans, even unconscious ones, respond to frequency. That neighbor who never spoke to you, they'll start conversations. That family member who dismissed you, they'll suddenly seek your advice. That doctor who rushed you through appointments, they'll start listening. You didn't do anything differently. Heaven did. Unexpected opportunities are about to present themselves. A phone call you weren't expecting, a letter in the mail that shifts your finances, a conversation that opens doors you didn't even know existed. These aren't coincidences. This is divine orchestration responding to the activation of the seventh miracle. What once resisted you now welcomes you. What once blocked you now bows to you. Not because you're special in yourself, but because you're carrying something heaven stamped as urgent. But I need to tell you something most people don't know. The aftershock has 3 layers. Most people only notice the first layer, the emotional relief, the mental clarity, the atmospheric shift. But there's a second layer that's far more powerful, and a third layer that literally restructures your bloodline. I'll reveal the second layer in the next part, but only if you're ready. If you're already feeling the shift, if the aftershock is moving through your body right now, comment, "It's starting." Because what comes next requires you to be awake, fully awake. And chosen one, you're about to discover why the enemy fought you so hard for so long. He saw this moment coming before you did. You've had seasons where everything fell apart without warning, haven't you? One phone call and your marriage ended. One diagnosis and your retirement plans vanished. One funeral and the house felt too big, too quiet, too cold. You didn't see it coming. You didn't get a vote. Life just rearranged itself while you were still trying to hold the pieces together. But listen to me, chosen one. The seventh miracle flips the script. Now everything falls into place without warning. The same God who allowed the chaos is about to orchestrate order so perfect, so precise, so undeniable, that you'll finally understand why the breakdown had to happen first. Proverbs 16:9 says, "In their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." You've been planning, God's been establishing, and what you're about to witness is the difference between your blueprints and His divine architecture. You know what's happening right now. Heaven is moving furniture in your life without asking permission. Relationships you thought were permanent are dissolving. Opportunities you never applied for are appearing. Memories you buried 20 years ago are resurfacing with clarity. And you're standing there confused, asking, "God, what are you doing?" He's answering, rearranging everything for the seventh miracle. Picture your life like a subway map in New York. For years, you were forced into detours. The 6 train broke down. The express bypassed your stop. You watched everyone else speed past while you sat stranded on platforms, waiting, wondering if your train would ever come. You transferred lines so many times you forgot where you were even trying to go. But suddenly, and I mean suddenly, the tracks realign. The express train opens just for you. No delays, no crowds, no confusion. And in 3 stops, you arrive at a destination that would have taken you 30 years to reach the old way. That's what the seventh miracle does. It doesn't just bless you, it relocates you. Spiritually, physically, emotionally, financially. You're not inching forward anymore. You're being catapulted. And here's what you need to understand about divine rearrangement. It looks like loss before it looks like gain. It feels like confusion before it feels like clarity. It sounds like silence before it sounds like celebration. When people started leaving your life 3 years ago, you thought you did something wrong. You didn't. Heaven was removing everyone who would have blocked the seventh miracle. Every unanswered text was protection. Every faded friendship was divine filtration. God wasn't punishing you with loneliness. He was preparing you for sacred solitude, the kind that births miracles. Job 12:23 declares, "He makes nations great and destroys them. He enlarges nations and disperses them." If God can rearrange entire nations, do you think He can't rearrange your Tuesday afternoon, your bank account, your health report, your family dynamic? He's doing it right now. You've been feeling it, haven't you? That strange stirring, like something's shifting beneath the surface of your reality. Old memories are resurfacing, not to torment you, but to heal you. God is reaching into your past and pulling out the poison so the seventh miracle can flow clean. That loneliness you've carried since your spouse passed, it's lifting, not because you're forgetting them, but because divine companionship is filling the space. The Holy Spirit is becoming more real to you than any human presence ever was. You're learning what David meant in Psalm 23:4. "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." You are with me. Not were, not will be, are. Present tense, active, alive, breathing in the room with you right now. And that emotional heaviness that's been sitting on your chest like a stone for the past decade, it's breaking. Spiritual clarity is rushing in like floodwaters after a dam collapses. Suddenly you understand why things happened the way they did, why that door closed, why that person left, why that prayer went unanswered for so long. It wasn't no, it was not yet. God was rearranging the entire stage before He brought you out for the final act. Here's the part that's going to wreck you. Are you ready? This is the moment where everything that once blocked you becomes the very thing God uses to launch you. That bankruptcy 15 years ago, it's about to become your testimony of supernatural provision. That betrayal that nearly destroyed you, it's about to become the bridge that connects you to someone who needs to hear they can survive it too. That diagnosis the doctors said would slow you down, it's about to become proof that God's strength is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9. "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." The cracks in your life weren't accidents, they were entry points for glory. You thought the detours disqualified you, but God was using them to position you. You thought the delays meant you were forgotten, but heaven was synchronizing 1,000 moving parts to align perfectly for your arrival. And now, right now, this very second, the pieces are clicking into place. The express train just pulled up, the doors are open, and your name is on the passenger list. If you feel doors shifting, if you sense realignment happening in real time, if something in your spirit is confirming that this is your moment, type, "Shift me, Lord," in the comments. Because what I'm about to show you next will prove that the seventh miracle isn't just changing your future, it's redeeming your entire past. Listen to me, dear one. I know what you're not telling anyone. I know about the mornings when you can barely grip the coffee cup because your fingers won't cooperate anymore. I know about the arthritis that's been stealing your independence, one joint at a time. I know about the pain that wakes you at 2 a.m., that deep ache in your knees, your back, your shoulders that no pill can touch. I know you've stopped mentioning it to your children because they can't fix it, and you don't want to be a burden. I know you smile through Sunday dinners while your body screams. I know you've learned to hide the wince, the limp, the exhaustion that follows you like a shadow. Your body has carried decades of storms, hasn't it? It's carried the weight of raising children when money was tight. It's carried the grief of burying people you loved. It's carried stress, disappointment, heartbreak, and now it's sending you the bill. Every morning feels like negotiations with your own flesh. Can I make it to the mailbox today? Can I stand long enough to cook? Can I stay awake past 6 p.m. without feeling like I'm shutting down? And here's the cruelest part. Your spirit still burns with fire, but your body can't keep up anymore. You've got dreams, prayers, assignments from God still echoing in your heart, but the vessel feels like it's betraying you. You look in the mirror, and barely recognize the person staring back. When did you become this fragile? When did standing up become an achievement? The doctors keep adding medications. The prescriptions pile up on your counter like evidence of decline. And every time you go for a checkup, there's this quiet terror whispering, what if they find something else? What if this is the appointment that changes everything? You're tired, beloved. Bone deep tired. And you've started wondering if this is just how the story ends. Slow fade, quiet decline, becoming invisible while you're still breathing. But let me tell you something that's going to shake the foundation of that fear. The seventh miracle doesn't ignore your body. It doesn't just comfort your spirit and leave your flesh in ruins. No. This miracle begins in your spirit and manifests in your flesh, because the same God who formed you from dust, the same God who knit you together in your mother's womb, the same God who has kept your heart beating for 70, 80, 90 years, he is not finished with you. Isaiah 40:31 declares, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint." Renew, not retire, not resign, not surrender. Renew. Right now, as these words pour over your spirit, something is shifting in your physical body. You might not feel it dramatically yet, but the process has begun. The seventh miracle is ancient, but it speaks the language of cells, bones, and blood. Some of you are already feeling warmth spreading through your chest, not anxiety, not emotion warmth, divine warmth, like liquid light moving through your bloodstream. Others are noticing a tingling in your hands, your feet, places that have been numb for years suddenly awakening. You took a deeper breath just now than you've taken in months, didn't you? Your chest feels lighter. The invisible weight pressing down, it's lifting. Maybe you woke up this morning with unusual rest. For the first time in years, you didn't wake up exhausted. You opened your eyes and thought, something's different. Maybe you stood up from your chair without that stabbing pain in your hip. Maybe you walked to the kitchen and realized halfway there you forgot to limp. These aren't coincidences, chosen one. This is evidence. Psalm 103:2-3 says, "Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits, who forgiveth all thine iniquities, who healeth all thy diseases." All. Not some. Not the easy ones. All. The God who healed the woman with the issue of blood for 12 years, the God who restored sight to the blind, the God who made the lame walk and the dead rise. He has not retired. His healing power is not reserved for Bible times. It is active. It is present. It is moving through your living room right now. But here's what I need you to understand. At the core level of your being, God is not just extending your life so you can suffer longer. He is not adding years so you can watch more people die. He is restoring your strength so you can finish your assignment. You're not here by accident. You didn't survive cancer, heart attacks, strokes, grief, and decades of spiritual warfare just to fade quietly into a nursing home. No, you are being renewed because God still has work for you to do. He still has prayers that need your voice. He still has grandchildren who need your wisdom. He still has a generation that needs to see what faithfulness looks like when it refuses to quit. Moses was 120 years old when he died, and Deuteronomy 34:7 says, "His eye was not dim, nor his natural force abated." At 120, God kept him strong until his final breath, because the mission wasn't finished. Caleb was 85 years old when he said in Joshua 14:11, "I am as strong this day as I was in the day that Moses sent me. As my strength was then, even so is my strength now." 85 years old and still claiming mountains. You are their bloodline. You are their spiritual descendants. And the same God who sustained them is sustaining you. The seventh miracle is the renewal moment. This is where heaven touches your biology and says, "Not yet, we're not done here." If you need healing, if your body has been crying out for relief, if pain has been your unwanted companion, If you're ready to believe that God can still restore what time has taken, comment right now. Heal me, Lord. Type it with faith. Type it with expectation. Type it as a declaration that you refuse to accept decline as your destiny, because what's about to happen next will prove that your body was never the limitation it was, preparation for the strength you're about to carry. You raised them with everything you had. You worked 2 jobs so they could have what you never did. You sat up through fevers and nightmares. You taught them to pray before they could tie their shoes. You gave them your last $20 more times than you can count. And now your phone stays silent for weeks. I'm talking to the mother who hasn't heard I love you in 3 years. I'm talking to the father whose son moved across the country and forgot the way home. I'm talking to the grandmother who sees her grandchildren's faces on Facebook but never in her living room. They're growing up without your stories, without your hands, without knowing where they came from. You tell yourself it's okay. You say they're busy. You make excuses for the silence. But late at night, when the house is too quiet and the walls remember better days, you whisper the same question to God. Did I do something wrong? Why did they leave me behind? Here's what breaks my heart. You spent your whole life building a family, and somewhere along the way, the foundation cracked. Not because you failed, not because you didn't love hard enough, but because this world has a way of pulling people apart. Distance, busyness, misunderstandings that hardened into resentment, words spoken in anger that never got unsaid. And now you're sitting in a house full of memories and empty chairs, wondering if it's too late to fix what time tried to destroy. But chosen one, hear me now. The 7th miracle didn't come to pat you on the back and tell you to accept loneliness. The 7th miracle came to shatter it. This is the miracle of restoration. The miracle that doesn't just heal bodies or bank accounts. This miracle touches hearts, softens stone, rewrites family stories that ended in silence. The 7th miracle reaches into the spiritual realm where grudges live and suffocates them with grace. In Malachi 4-6, God makes a promise that will wreck you. He will turn the hearts of the fathers to their children and the hearts of the children to their fathers. Did you catch that? God himself is in the business of turning hearts back home. Not might, not maybe, will. This is divine intervention in family bloodlines. And if God said it, then the 7th miracle carries the authority to make it happen right now. Think about the prodigal son. Luke 15. That boy took everything his father had, walked away without looking back, and burned through his inheritance in a foreign land. The father had every right to write him off, every reason to say he made his choice. But what did that old man do? He watched the road every single day, waiting, believing, refusing to let hope die. And when that son finally came stumbling home broken, ashamed, smelling like pig slop, the father didn't lecture him, didn't say, "I told you so." He ran down that road with his arms wide open, threw his robe around his son's shoulders, put a ring on his finger, threw a party that shook the whole town. That's your God. That's the spirit of the 7th miracle, the one who runs toward restoration when everyone else walks away. Now, I want you to see something. Close your eyes for just a moment and let me paint this for you. It's a Tuesday afternoon. You're sitting in your kitchen with a cup of tea going cold in your hands. Your phone rings. You almost don't answer because nobody calls anymore. But something makes you pick up, and it's your daughter's voice, softer than you remember. She says, "Mom, I've been thinking about you. Can we talk?" Or it's your son pulling into the driveway unannounced. He walks through that door with tears in his eyes and says, "Dad, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know why it took me this long." Or it's your granddaughter, 12 years old now, growing up fast, and she's asking questions about your life, about where you grew up, about what you loved when you were her age. And suddenly, you realize she wants to know you, not out of obligation, out of hunger for connection. This is not fantasy. This is prophecy. This is what the 7th miracle does when it invades a family tree. It doesn't just repair relationships. It resurrects them from the dead. Joel 2:25 declares it boldly, I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten. The years, not just the days or the moments. The years that felt stolen. God is about to give you back time you thought was lost forever. Conversations you thought would never happen. Forgiveness you stopped praying for because it hurt too much to hope. The seventh miracle breaks generational curses, the anger, the silence, the cold shoulders passed down like heirlooms. And it awakens generational blessings that skipped over you before, but are landing now with the force of divine timing. You think it's too late? Abraham was 100 when God gave him Isaac. Moses was 80 when he led Israel home. Anna was 84 when she held the Messiah in her arms. Your age is not your disqualification. It's your confirmation that God saves the best wine for last. Right now, I need you to do something. Don't overthink it. Don't second guess it. Write the name of someone you want God to restore. A child, a sibling, a grandchild, a friend who became a stranger. Type their name in the comments. Release it into the atmosphere. Let heaven see your faith, and let that name become a seed of reconciliation planted in holy ground. Because what you're about to discover next will show you that the seventh miracle doesn't just restore relationships, it rewrites your entire legacy for generations you'll never meet. Let me ask you something that's been keeping you awake at night. Something you haven't said out loud because you're ashamed. Something that sits in your chest like a stone every time you open your mailbox, every time you walk past the pharmacy, every time your grandchild asks for something you can't afford. You're afraid of outliving your money, aren't you? You're 72 years old and you're doing math at midnight, calculating how many more years your savings will last. Wondering if you'll become a burden to your children. Lying awake doing the brutal arithmetic of survival. If I skip this medication, I can keep the heat on. If I eat less, maybe the social security check will stretch another week. If I die before the money runs out, at least I won't be homeless. Dear one, listen to me. You worked for 47 years. 47 years of waking up before dawn, breaking your back, sacrificing your body for a paycheck. You raised children on a single income. You tithed when you couldn't afford to tithe. You gave to the church bake sale when you were eating beans from a can at home. You did everything right. And now you're tired of choosing between blood pressure medication and groceries. You're tired of that cold sweat when the electric bill arrives. You're tired of the humiliation of asking your daughter for help. You're tired of pretending you're fine when your bank account is screaming that you're drowning. You worked your whole life and this is what you got? A fixed income that shrinks every year while everything else gets more expensive? A government check that doesn't cover rent, let alone dignity. But here's what the enemy doesn't want you to know. Here's the truth that hell has been desperately trying to hide from you for the last decade. You are not forgotten. You are being repositioned. The seventh miracle doesn't operate in the economy of this world. It doesn't care about inflation or interest rates or stock markets. The seventh miracle taps into the treasury of heaven, where there is no recession, no scarcity, no limit. Philippians 4:19 declares it plainly, My God shall supply all your need according to his riches in glory. Not according to your social security, not according to your pension, according to his riches in glory. And beloved, his supply is infinite. You are moving from survival to supernatural provision, from scraping by to overflow, from begging to receiving. The season of lack is ending today, not tomorrow, not next month, but in this hour, as these words wash over your weary spirit. Right now, in the invisible realm, there is a shifting. The angels of provision have been dispatched. They're moving through financial institutions, through legal systems, through human hearts. They're rearranging circumstances you can't see yet, but you're about to witness it in the physical. Watch for the signs. They're already beginning. That small tax refund you weren't expecting. That bill that mysteriously got reduced. That overcharge that was suddenly credited back to your account. That stranger who paid for your groceries at the checkout line and wouldn't let you say no. That medical bill that got forgiven for reasons the hospital can't quite explain. These aren't coincidences. These are heaven's fingerprints. God is not playing small with your miracle. He's not sending you crumbs. He's preparing to flood your life with provision that makes no earthly sense. Money from sources you didn't apply to, favor with institutions that normally show no mercy, debts cancelled that you've carried for years. This is the seventh miracle in motion. But I need you to understand something that's going to break every religious mindset you've ever had about poverty and piety. God does not glorify your lack. He doesn't get honor from you struggling. He doesn't receive worship from you choosing between pills and bread. That's not holiness. That's poverty. And poverty is a curse that Jesus broke on the cross. Deuteronomy 28:12 says, "The Lord will open to you his good treasure, the heavens, to give rain to your land in its season, and to bless all the work of your hand." Notice it says, open. That means right now, there are vaults in heaven with your name written on them. Accounts that have been accumulating interest for 70 years of faithful service. Blessings that have been stored, waiting for the appointed time. And the appointed time is now. The seventh miracle breaks the spirit of lack. It shatters the generational curse of poverty that's been stalking your family tree. It cancels the demonic assignment that's been blocking your increase. It opens the floodgates of divine supply that have been sealed by delay, by disobedience in previous generations, by spiritual warfare you didn't even know you were fighting. This isn't about working harder. You've worked hard enough. This isn't about being more faithful. You've been faithful your whole life. This is about divine timing colliding with divine favor, and you standing in the exact right place when heaven releases what's been held back. You're about to stop chasing provision. Provision is about to chase you. Declare it out loud right now, wherever you are. Say it with your whole chest. Provision is chasing me. Abundance is finding me. The wealth of the wicked is being transferred to me. I am moving from lack to overflow. The seventh miracle of finances is mine. Because what's about to happen next isn't just about money. It's about vindication. It's about God proving to you, to your family, to everyone who doubted, that he never forgot you. That every seed you planted in secret is about to produce a harvest in public. But first, you need to understand why this miracle took so long to arrive, and why that delay was actually divine strategy. Listen to me, chosen one. The world has been lying to you for decades. They told you to slow down, to step aside, to make room for the younger generation. They handed you a rocking chair and called it retirement. They gave you a gold watch and told you your work was done. They whispered that your best years were behind you, that your purpose expired with your pension, that all you have left now is to wait. But God is saying something completely different. He's saying, wake up, your assignment just began. You see, the enemy's greatest weapon against seniors isn't sickness or loneliness. It's the lie of insignificance. It's that poisonous whisper that says, you don't matter anymore. Your time is up. Your voice doesn't count. Your prayers don't carry weight. But I'm here to tell you that's a demonic deception straight from the pit of hell. You are not retired. You are reassigned. Moses was 80 when God called him to deliver a nation. Abraham was 100 when he fathered the promise. Anna the prophetess was 84 when she recognized the Messiah in the temple. Caleb was 85 when he declared, give me this mountain. Your age isn't your expiration date. It's your activation code. Everything you've survived, every betrayal, every loss, every dark night of the soul, it wasn't random suffering. It was spiritual boot camp. God has been training you in the trenches of life so that when this moment arrived, you'd be ready to carry what others can't handle. The seventh miracle isn't just about receiving, it's about becoming. Right now, as I speak these words, heaven is opening a new scroll over your life. Picture it with me. In the throne room of the Almighty, an angel is unrolling ancient parchment written in the ink of eternity. Your name is at the top, and beneath it, written in divine calligraphy, is your new assignment for this season. This isn't a generic blessing. This is a specific commission. Revelation 5:1 speaks of a scroll sealed with 7 seals that only the Lamb could open. The 7th miracle is breaking the final seal over your destiny. What was hidden is now revealed. What was dormant is now activated. What was sealed is now released. Can you feel it? That trembling in your spirit? That's not anxiety. That's anticipation. Your soul recognizes what your mind is just beginning to understand. God is calling you into one of the most sacred roles in His kingdom. Let me name them, and when I do, pay attention to which one makes your heart leap. Intercessor. You are the watchman on the wall, the one whose prayers hold back darkness while a sleeping generation scrolls through distractions. Your groaning in the midnight hour shifts spiritual atmospheres. Your tears water seeds in the invisible realm. When you pray, heaven mobilizes. Family healer. You are the one chosen to break generational curses. The addictions that plagued your father stop with you. The poverty mindset that haunted your mother dies at your feet. Your grandchildren will walk in freedom because you stood in the gap and said, "No more." Wisdom bearer. In a culture drowning in information but starving for wisdom, God has preserved you to speak truth. Your experience is currency. Your scars are credentials. Young people need what you carry, the kind of knowing that only comes from walking with God through decades of fire. Encourager. Someone in your sphere is one word away from giving up, one phone call away from suicide, one conversation away from walking away from their marriage, their faith, their life. And God has positioned you with your gentle voice and battle-tested hope to be the voice that pulls them back from the edge. Spiritual elder. The church is hemorrhaging because there aren't enough elders who remember what real faith looks like. You've seen God part seas. You've watched Him make ways out of no way. Your testimony isn't theory, it's evidence. And this generation needs living proof that God still shows up. Community light. In your neighborhood, in your apartment building, in that senior center you visit, every Thursday, you are the only Jesus some people will ever see. Your kindness is evangelism. Your peace is prophecy. Your joy in the midst of pain is a billboard advertising the goodness of God. Do you see it now? Do you understand why the enemy fought you so hard? Because he saw what you're just now remembering. You are stepping into the most meaningful chapter of your entire life, not despite your age, but because of it. This is your Joseph moment. After years of prison, after decades of waiting, after a lifetime of preparation, Pharaoh is calling you out of the dungeon and handing you the keys to the kingdom. This is your Esther moment. For such a time as this, heaven whispers, everything you've endured has been preparing you for this assignment. The 7th miracle isn't pulling you out of the race. It's positioning you at the starting line of your greatest lap. Proverbs 16:31 declares, "Gray hair is a crown of glory. It is gained in a righteous life. Your wrinkles are your resume. Your scars are your seminary degree. Your survival is your ordination." Now God is asking you a question that will determine the rest of your days. Will you accept this assignment? Will you stop believing the lie that you're too old, too tired, too broken? Will you rise from the seat of passivity and step into the mantle of purpose? Will you let heaven rewrite your final chapter with fire and glory? Comment right now, "I accept my assignment," because what I'm about to show you next will reveal exactly how to walk in this calling and the supernatural power that comes with it. Beloved chosen one, as we come to the end of this sacred encounter, I need you to hold on to 3 eternal truths that will anchor your soul in the days ahead. First, the 7th miracle isn't just an event, it's an awakening. You are not the same person who started watching this message. Something shifted in the atmosphere around your life today. The waiting season is over. The assignment has been revealed, and heaven has just stamped your spiritual passport for the journey ahead. Second, your age is not your limitation, it's your qualification. Every gray hair is a crown of glory. Every wrinkle tells a story of survival. Every scar is a sermon. You have been refined by fire, tested by time, and approved by the Almighty. Moses was 80, Abraham was 100, Anna was 84. And you right now, at this exact age, are exactly where God needs you to be. Third, this miracle didn't come to you alone, it came through you. Your breakthrough will break chains in your bloodline. Your healing will become someone else's hope. Your testimony will be the lifeline that pulls another soul back from the edge. You are not just blessed, you are a blessing in motion. But I need you to understand something deeper than knowledge, something that settles in your bones. You are not walking this path alone. Even when the nights feel long, even when the silence feels heavy, even when it seems like nobody understands what you're carrying, the God who called you is still working. He's moving mountains you can't see. He's opening doors you haven't found yet. He's orchestrating appointments you haven't imagined. Romans 8:28 isn't just a verse, it's a promise with your name on it. All things work together for good, to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. And beyond God's presence, you have something beautiful right here, right now. Look at these comments. See these hearts connecting. Feel these spirits resonating. You've found your tribe, chosen one. This isn't just a YouTube channel. This is a sanctuary of souls who understand the sacred loneliness of being set apart. We are here. We see you. We believe in you. And we will stand with you in prayer. So let me ask you this final question, and let it echo in the chambers of your heart. Now that you know the seventh miracle has opened over your life, now that you understand your assignment, now that you've felt the weight of divine purpose settle on your shoulders, what will you do with this revelation? Will you shrink back into the shadows of insignificance, or will you rise and walk in the authority that heaven just released over your life? Before I release you, join me in this prayer. Wherever you are, in your living room, your bedroom, sitting in your kitchen, lying in your bed, I want you to place your hand over your heart. Feel it beating. That rhythm is proof that God isn't finished with you yet. Now let me speak over your life with the authority of one who has walked with the Almighty through fire and flood. Heavenly Father, Ancient of Days, the one who was and is to come, I stand in the gap right now for every precious soul who has watched this message. Lord, they've carried weight that would have crushed weaker vessels. They've endured nights that tested their sanity. They've survived losses that should have destroyed their faith. But here they are, Father, still breathing, still believing, still reaching for you. God, I pray that you would breathe fresh wind into their weary bones. Where there is exhaustion, release supernatural strength. Where there is confusion, download divine clarity. Where there is doubt, establish unshakable faith. Let them feel your presence right now, not as a distant concept, but as a tangible reality, wrapping around them like a warm blanket on a cold night. Father, open the doors that no man can shut. Provide resources they haven't imagined. Connect them with people who will honor their calling. Give them dreams that direct them, visions that guide them, and divine appointments that accelerate their purpose. Let every enemy that has stood against them bow before the authority you've placed in their hands. I pray for their bodies, Lord. Touch every aching joint, every failing organ, every place where disease has tried to establish a foothold. You are Jehovah Rapha, the God who heals. Let your healing power flow through their physical frames right now. Restore mobility, renew strength, reverse diagnoses that doctors called permanent. I pray for their families, Father. Bring prodigal children home. Restore broken relationships. Heal marriages that are hanging by a thread. Let their grandchildren rise up and call them blessed. Break every generational curse and establish generational blessing through their obedience. I pray for their finances, Lord. You own the cattle on 1,000 hills. You own the silver and the gold. Release provision that doesn't make sense on paper but makes perfect sense in your economy. Open heaven's storehouse over their lives. Let them become conduits of blessing, not just recipients. Most of all, Father, Let them never forget this moment. Let the memory of this day become an anchor when storms come. Let the truth they heard today become a weapon when lies attack. Let the peace they feel right now become a fortress when chaos surrounds them. In the mighty, matchless, all-powerful name of Jesus, the name above every name, the name that causes demons to flee and angels to respond. I seal this prayer with faith, hope, and love. Amen. Now, beloved, I want to hear from you. Don't just watch and walk away. This community needs your voice. In the comments below, tell us what shifted in your spirit today. Share what God spoke to your heart. Ask us to pray for specific areas of your life. We will surround you with intercession. And please, if this message touched something deep in your soul, share it with someone who needs to hear it. There's a friend, a family member, a neighbor who's walking through the same valley you just climbed out of. Be the vessel that carries this hope to them. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel and ring that notification bell. This isn't just content, this is a movement of awakening. Every week we're gathering here to be reminded of who we are, whose we are, and why we're still here. You belong in this family. Thank you for staying with me through this entire journey. Thank you for opening your heart, for letting these words penetrate the sacred places of your soul, for being brave enough to believe that maybe, just maybe, your best days aren't behind you. The seventh miracle has opened. Your assignment is clear, and the God who called you is faithful to complete what He started. Now go in peace, go in power, go in the unshakable knowledge that you are chosen, you are called, and you are never, ever alone. Until we meet again, walk as who you are, a carrier of the seventh miracle, a bearer of divine assignment, and living proof that God still does the impossible. Amen and amen.